First of all, welcome back. Cole Sillinger, do you have an update on him?
Yep, he's playing.
He is good.
Mm-hmm.
Second question, we talk all the time with young players about playing with veteran players. For example, KJ playing with JVR and Sean Monahan.
Mm-hmm.
Does the reverse also have an impact on the veteran players when they can play with a young, skilled player like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we put a whole lot of stock in that. I think, you know, if you're playing in the National Hockey League, you're ready to play. I think they can, to your point, they can help each other in different ways. Like I don't know, Monty certainly doesn't look like an old guy. You know what I mean? Like it's not, he doesn't need anybody to push him or anything like that. So, but there is something to be said about that veteran leadership that he brings to the table. And we actually just went through our analytics today, and literally anybody that we put with Monahan has success. That's the way that he's playing the game. Just because he's just so sound in all areas. And, you know, I think he is a sound, calm influence, not only on individual players, but our entire group.
I was going to ask kind of that same question, but it seems like no matter who you put with Monahan, it was the Russians, it's now this new line. You said his solidness, his calmness helps, but is there anything about his game in particular that maybe makes him easy to play with for guys when they get put with him?
I think his entire game, because there's not, like you can say one guy's a good passer, or this guy's a good skater, and this guy's a, you know, good shooter, and this guy's a good defender, and he's all of those, right? I mean, he's done everything in all areas of the game, in all zones, in all different situations. So yeah, he's been a fantastic presence on our hockey club.
So the last road trip started well, ended well, not so good in the middle. What are your overall takeaways from the 5 games?
Well, I'd argue not so good as far as the wins and losses. There was a lot of positives. Certainly that Vancouver game, the start was as good a start as we've had all year. We didn't get the results, so yeah, that's the negative. But there were some positives out of those middle 3 as well. We competed, you know, in pretty much every game like we want to compete. But yeah, would we have liked a better record out there for sure. But it ended correctly, and we have to continue that here tonight.
You already mentioned Cylinders playing. Are there any lineup changes tonight?
No.
Is Chinnikov still, he's day-to-day, or can we get an update on Chinnikov?
I don't know what as you know, I've never said any day-to-day or week-to-week. It's just, I don't know where, you know, he's progressing for sure. You know, hasn't, as far as I know, he hasn't been on the ice yet. So he's not close to coming back yet.
With Van Riemsdyk, he had obviously been in and out of the lineup a little bit to start the season. Just what was some of the rationale behind? I mean, I know you wanted to kind of shake up the lines a little bit there and see if you can get something new. Putting him with Johnson and Monahan, I mean, just it worked out really well. What was the thinking behind it?
You don't see the ping pong ball thing in our room? That's what we do. We just throw it in there and they come out, and then we get combinations. Yeah. There's a lot of different things that go into it, right? I mean, to go into the whole process, I guess the bottom line is communication, is that we communicate as a staff. Everybody has input. We get the analytic numbers, we get the pairings and the combinations and what works and what doesn't work and what we see as coaches in our eyes, and then we try to make the right decision. It's just sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, we've changed lines several times when, you know, we haven't had success. So, but, you know, it's just, you try different things and you hope there's chemistry, and that line certainly had chemistry last game.
Dean, Sean Corrali has killed penalties extensively throughout his career, even before he got here. During this stretch where the kill has struggled, has that been, can you say why he's not killed penalties, but also have you considered putting him back into that unit during the struggles?
Yeah, we have considered a lot of different people, different combinations, and yeah, I think he actually had one last game, if I remember correctly, but yeah, we're, you know, if. And again, we go through the process of, is it systematic? Is it personnel when situations are good and bad? And we evaluate and we make a decision as a staff of who goes on the ice. That's our call as coaches. And have we considered girls in the Pelicans? Sure.
Hello, I'm here.
Hey.
Hey. We talk about Monahan, JVR, these guys on the front end. We talk about Zach on the back end a lot. But can you tell us a little bit about how big of an impact Ivan Provorov has on the young players coming back from, you know, what seems to be a pretty serious injury, and then next thing you know, he's back in the lineup, about just how to be a pro?
Yeah, and I didn't know this about him, like as far as how, I mean, in the past what he's done, but everybody tells me now after this situation that like he's never missed a game, or rarely he's missed a game, or he's been forced to miss a game with COVID and all that kind of stuff. So if you're gonna ask me, like, is he gonna play in that hockey game? I'm like, not a chance, like, right? But once he's cleared medically, you know, goes through that with the doctors, and then the trainers tell us he's cleared, then it's up to the player, right? You know, to make the call, can he play? And then it's up to us to make the decision, is he going to help us, you know, with the injury, or is he, you know, not going to help us? And but to answer your question, Jean-Luc, he is like to play in that hockey game in the way that he did and how he battled and gritty and hard, it was impressive. So yeah, I hope everyone in that room, not just the young guys, but I mean, I know we were impressed. I hope his teammates were inspired, and you know, and play with the bite and the level of intensity and toughness that he showed in that hockey game.
Dean, there was a great shot of you on the bench as Vogt came back to give you an update on Provorov. Not asking what the conversation was, but your response suggested that, oh boy, this is going to be a while. Can you just say what your initial thought was as to how long you'd be without Provorov before you learned to be back?
You're asking me to remember 2 games ago? You should know better than that. Yeah. Nope. I have no idea. I honestly, like Voter comes back and like he'll, you know, and obviously we don't want to read lips and all that kind of stuff, and you know, he just gives updates, and maybe I got to be a little more stoic in those situations. Thank you for that. I'll be a little more careful once he talks to me. But I mean, it didn't look good, right? I mean, he comes off the ice, we see it. It doesn't look good. And, you know, at that point, there's no, you know, he hasn't been evaluated or anything. It's just like, yeah, so everybody knew that it didn't look good. But I will tell you this, after, like the next day, well, we had a little team building thing. You guys probably saw the curling. And so he had to go get x-rays and all that stuff, and jumped in an Uber and met his teammates that night, and didn't throw a curling rock or sweep, but he wanted to be there, and I think that says as much about him as playing the hockey game, right? That he came and did that with us. So yeah, and he's a tough guy and a really good teammate.
Going back to the penalty kill really quick, when you look at the analytic dashboard of this team, a lot of things look really good. You know, there's a lot of good stuff going on. That's maybe the one area, obviously, that we've talked about that kind of jumps out that needs to be improved. Is there a sense, though, that, you know, if you guys get hot there, or you can, you know, you shore things up there, that as long as the other stuff stays together, you guys could make a little bit of a run?
Well, listen, I've got I don't look back a lot, obviously, looking forward, but I would argue that our penalty kill earlier in the year, I don't know how long ago, won us hockey games, right? So it goes. There's, there's ups and downs and flows. And do we want our special teams to be, great? Yeah, of course. Do we want our 5-on-5 to be great? Yeah. Do we want to score? Yeah. Do we want to defend? So we stay the course. We adjust. We make adjustments all the time, but you have to stay with what you believe in. And as a staff and as a team, we believe that a lot of things that we're doing are right. Sometimes you do all the right things and the thing ends up in your net anyway. They do have 5 guys against 4, right? They're supposed to score. When our PP isn't good, it's like, well, how come you can't score? Or when it's good, it's like, So anyway, we're just staying the course. We're going to stay as positive as we can. We're going to just continually work, which we do, and get better, and in all areas, not just the penalty kill. Thanks, guys.